You're watching Hip Hop Vancouver. I'm John Zee, and today we're joined by the flyest backpacker ever. You know him better as Royce the 5'9".
Yes. Great introduction.
I thought so.
I got to run with that, man. You know what I'm saying?
I
Flyest
like it.
backpacker ever.
Why do you call yourself that?
I was just, man, that's how I felt at the time when I was on the song. I mean, I drive nice cars, got a beautiful wife, I dress nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a dirty hip-hop guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I stand by a lot of the same principles as a lot of artists that's on the radio. I just, make the kind of music I want to make.
Right.
So that's
Right.
that's it.
Welcome back to Vancouver, Royce.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I always have a ball here.
And your history in Vancouver kind of stretches back to, I believe, 2003, when you hooked up with Checkmate and Concise on the Raw track
Absolutely.
off of the Built and Destroy mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your connection to the city, Vancouver, and what the city means to Royce.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me see. Look, one of the first people I met here was my man Forrest. My man Forrest. He actually ended up passing away, but he was like a really, really close friend of mine, man, from here. And he introduced me to like all kinds of people. I believe he may have introduced me to Check and Concise. I think. I'm not sure. He introduced me to the Triads.
Okay, word.
I didn't know the Triads was so heavy here. You know what I'm saying? But he introduced me to the Triads. He introduced me to
back.
That's taking it back, right? But yeah, man. I mean, in the city, it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I come here every time I tour, every time I come to Canada, and I've never had an experience here that was a bad one. I've never had a bad show. Never had, even at my drunkest times, I never came here and like slipped up and forgot a lyric, and they've been like, "Oh man," you know what I'm saying? It's always like love.
Yeah.
It's like hip hop energy in the air. You know what I'm saying? Electricity. Yeah. So
that's great.
I love Vancouver.
We love you back, man. Your new album, Layers.
Yes.
This the sixth studio solo album that you've put together, and that's not, of course, not including the multiple mixtapes and collaborative albums that you've put out. Is Layers the best solo album you've ever done?
I think so. I think so. I think when you get into saying what's better than what, it automatically takes the validation out of it because it's really a matter of preference.
Right.
In my opinion, I think it's better only because of what I'm trying to bring out of myself. But it's very hard for me to put myself in the shoes of the listener without being biased toward the most recent stuff. But I am able to, way after the fact, look at it in retrospect and say, okay, that wasn't better than that. That wasn't better than that. But as of right now, especially with the way that it's being received and the success of it so far,
it just became let's talk about that. It just became
it's number one. It's a number one hip hop and R&B album in the U.S. right now. I'm very proud of that. Salute. I've never had that happen with a solo album before.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I mean, and it's called Layers, right? So it's basically peeling back all of the layers of things that I'm able to do as an artist. I'm basically combining all that into one album. That's the reason why I think it may be my best album, because there's always something to critique with every album. Death is Certain, which was probably my most critically acclaimed album. It was one thing, like at that time, because each album is a reflection of where I am at the time.
Right.
Death is Certain was a very dark period in my life.
Right.
I was a very angry, violent kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was. I was very mad at everything. So I couldn't go in the studio and write about anything but violence. You know what I'm saying? So it was very one-dimensional, very one-dimensional album. This album touches on a lot of my views, a lot of my political views. It touches on things that have been going on with my life. It's the introspection that people felt was missing as far as like content being missing in my lyrics. It still has stuff for MCs on there, and it's blended together in a way where everything kind of rolls through smoothly.
Right.
I got very involved in fusing songs together, coming up with music to segue from song to song. Just a lot of little tricks that a lot of the greats use who I've been around. You know?
On the track Gotta Know, a lyric that jumped out to me was, I guess the code that you live by is forget a code.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the code that Royce 5'9" lives by, and how does that code differ from today's generation, maybe?
Well, there's a lot of them. I got a lot of different codes.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you kind of mentioned it, that you're a man of principle, obviously.
I'm definitely a man of principle. I think one code that I live by that the newer generation doesn't live by is I was born and raised to be respectful and to respect the OGs. I respect my elders. Like, I got a place in my heart for old people, man. You know what I mean? Like I look at old people like how I look at babies. You know what I'm saying? Like they're sacred.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just out because I was raised that way. My lineage is from the South. You know, like I hold doors for women. I hold doors for people. I say excuse me. I say sorry. I say thank you. The younger generation isn't really like that. They certainly don't respect the OGs. They're rebellion, but the rebelliousness of them, I think, is a great thing because they'll make great music and great things will come out of it. I just wish the climate wasn't such a climate of like this generation versus that generation. Right. I think that there's strength in numbers, and I think that there's a certain gold in unity. Right. I think Khaled showed you that in Miami. I think Atlanta showed you that. I wish there was more unity in Detroit because I think that we have tons of talent in Detroit. Right. But we're just so divided just because of competitive spirit. Right. You know, so.
Yeah, and lastly for the bars here on Starter Quote, you rap, if Pac ain't on your list, you ain't fucking logical. Do you feel Tupac is gradually disappearing from people's top 5 lists?
I mean, it goes back to the younger generation again. Yeah, the younger generation, they're trying to X certain people out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you really logically look at what he's accomplished at such a young age and how enlightened he was at a young age, just go look at one of his interviews. He was very, very enlightened beyond his years. Right. And it's scary to think of what he would have went on to be able to accomplish.
Or if he was in this time of social media, like, holy.
Yeah, because he probably would have figured out a whole new way to work it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's sad that he was gone so soon, but the kind of records that he made, man, and just what he brought to the table, if he can't have an etched in spot, a spot that just lasts forever in the top 5 in hip hop forever, man. And I just don't think it's illogical. I don't think I'm talking to anybody logical who disagrees with that. Yeah. And who else is on that list then? You got obviously Pac on there. Pac and Big definitely both have to be there. I think Jay-Z did enough to deserve it. I will put Nas and Eminem there. Nas and Eminem. Rakim, KRS-One. Coogee Rap, Big Daddy Kane,
Slaughterhouse.
No, I'm not gonna put Slaughterhouse in the same conversation.
I'll put it.
Not in the same conversation with those guys, but we definitely can jump in there in a certain era if you wanted to break things down in eras. I think we can probably rhyme with the best of them in a certain era, but I don't think I could be mentioned in the same conversation as Jay-Z and Nas. Like, I grew up idolizing those guys, you know, so they'll always be up here to me.
So what's the most recent update on Slaughterhouse?
We almost got like a whole album done, pretty much. We obviously got to get together and make some adjustments to it. We're looking to probably drop something maybe later this year, or if not early next year at latest. You know, it's just a timing thing with Slaughterhouse. It's just everybody being able to free up to be able to push that machine at the same time. Right. We tried doing it. We tried pushing out records while we all weren't moving together at the same time, and it didn't work for us. Right. So we got to actually, whenever we do Slaughterhouse, we have to actually stop what we're doing and be a group. Yeah. You know, so. Yeah, you can't just like be sending in verses. Yeah. It's got to be a more organic process, right? Yeah, people call it super group, you know what I'm saying? But really it's like, we got to be Voltron for real. Like all of the pieces have to be connected in order for us to move. You know, if we on different wavelengths and, you know what I'm saying, traveling in different directions, it doesn't work. Like we not all tweeting in sync. Like things aren't happening in sync. But when we're together and we're on the road together and shit like that, it works. Good. I'm glad to hear that. As a fan of all for you guys, I'm glad to hear there's a new album in the works too. Definitely. Yeah. And I saw on your Instagram recently that you're getting back in the boxing gym. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Let me just explain to everybody something. Because you're a huge fan of boxing. I'm a huge fan of boxing. That is it. I don't want no problems. I got people in my comments wanting to fight. I don't want no problems. Look at these arms, man. I don't want to do nothing with these arms. People in the comments were they want to fucking fight, man. It's like I go in there, I throw a couple punches, move around. It's strictly just to get my heart rate up. I don't want to go too hard and tire myself out. It's strictly just for a workout, man. It's just a fun way to work out. That's it. I don't want I hope for the rest of my life I never punch anybody in the face again.
Yeah.
My hands are like probably worse than Floyd Mayweather's hands. They're just brittle, man. Like.
But you could talk about boxing.
Broken
You
knuckles.
know about the stats.
Yeah, I love boxing. Yeah.
Because some other guys that came to mind that are obviously in the hip hop game that are adamant boxing fans. You got R.A. the Rugged Man,
Absolutely.
Vinny Paz,
Yeah,
Dame
yeah.
Dash, and with the surge of popularity in podcasts these days, to me, I thought it would be dope. Obviously, this is just an idea. If you guys had a podcast together talking about boxing from the hip hop backgrounds that you guys
Me,
come
R.A. the
from,
Rugged Man, Vinny Paz, and Dame. That would be awesome.
that'd be like an all-star
That would be
boxing
awesome.
lineup.
That would be awesome. That would be
Commentators,
awesome.
you know what I mean?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had a conversation with Vinny Paz or Dame, but R.A. the Rugged Man is like a boxing genius.
Yeah.
He's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
HipHopVancouver.com. It's my favorite website. That's all I watch. YouPorn, Vancouver Hip Hop, HipHopVancouver.com.
Yeah. And the closest comparison to boxing and hip hop would be definitely battle rap, I think. And around the time of Total Slaughter show, which you were heavily involved in, there were some tweets back and forth between you and Arsenal alluding to a battle. Do you remember
Like
that?
between me and him?
Yeah. Kind of
That'd never
alluding.
happen. Yeah, that'd never happen. You see, the thing with Arsenal is Arsenal. We may have had words on Twitter because he said my name in his battle, in the Total Slaughter battle.
Right.
But yo, man, that shit is all in fun. I mean, battling is like, I come from battling, no doubt, you know. But back when I was doing it, I had that skill set of mine was very sharp. Since then, it's not sharp.
Okay.
It's not sharp at all. Not that skill set. Not to say that it can't be sharpened, but I mean, it'll take some time for me to be able to go up against guys like Arsenal.
Yeah. So you're not going to do the joy
He already ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
true,
it's like,
true. Yeah.
it's no guarantee that if I get up there, Arsenal will have an off night like how Hollow did, because Joe could have beat Hollow.
Right.
Because Hollow wasn't on. He had great raps, but he wasn't the same Hollow. He wasn't like clicking on all cylinders at that moment. So Joey could have beat him. I don't know if I would get so lucky, especially not against a guy like Arsenal who's on all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not that I don't think I could rap better than the nigga. It's just that I respect his skill set.
You know, I got to throw a few hypothetical battles at you, matchups your way. Let us know who you think you would win between, say, Dizaster and Murder Mook.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Dizaster, Murder Mook, who you think, bitch? I don't know, man. Because listen, I slept on Mook one time. I'd never do it again. Never do it again. And, you know, Diz is like one of my favorite, you know, because I'm a syllable guy. Diz a syllable you to death. You know what I'm saying? But Mook, man, Mook is like Floyd, man. Like, he's so smart. He'll figure it out. He'll figure out a way. Mook is the angle man. He'll figure out an angle. He'll figure out the right angle to come at you. I've seen Diz frizzled before. I've seen him frazzled before. He's a temper. He's temporary. That's his emotion is what make him so great. But sometimes that gets the best of him. You know, I think Diz can probably come up with better technical raps, but Mook, man, I don't know if nobody can really just beat Mook.
Right.
That's tough. That's
Diz
tough
is battling a lot more than Mook.
Yeah,
at
Mook
the
is
present moment, anyways.
Mook is gonna come and give you the 3 rounds to last you another 3 years, because you know you ain't gonna see him rap, but he can battle again for 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mook is a monster.
What about Loaded Lux versus Pat Stay?
Oh man, listen, man, yo, I don't know. Am I supposed to pick a winner of these? Because
It's just hypothetical.
You seen me judge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pat Stay. I can't picture nobody really beating Pat Stay, man. I really can't. I mean, he's like the complete package. Like Pat Stay and Charlie Clips, they almost unbeatable in the sense of like they come with punchlines, but then they're funny all the time.
Right.
And even for somebody who's not necessarily a fan of technical rap, you can be entertained by Charlie Clips and Pat Stay because it's humor there. It's like watching a fucking sitcom with them two guys.
Yeah.
And Loaded Lux is Lux. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you? Lux is like through the roof lyrical. You know what I'm saying? But we did see the blueprint has been laid out to beat Lux. It's been laid out. To me, Lux is probably the best one of the best rappers in battle rap.
Right.
If we just talking about rapping, nobody really raps better than Loaded Lux. But if you got to factor everything in, and like Pat Stay is hard to beat, bro.
Yeah.
He's hard for you to walk away and say, I honestly beat him.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Low Deluxe get beat convincingly.
Yep.
That said a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't never think there would be a day where I'd see that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen it. That happens to me in boxing too, man. Like, you see certain people get beat and you just like, damn. Okay, so now the blueprint is laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Now trainers have something to work on against that fighter now. That's the reason why Floyd is so successful. Nobody's figured it out yet.
Right. Right. It's the Rubik's Cube that nobody can get.
Once you seen Mike Tyson get
Yeah.
beat, man, he was Mike
wide
Tyson,
open.
Roy Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. It was just like, damn, now they know what to do against him. He's not as scary now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for answering those. I know it's kind of throwing it at you.
That's tough. That's
a
tough.
tough one. I know.
You must really know about battles to pair those people up.
put you in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Now, in closing, your brother Kid Vicious, he's been right by your side, touring,
Yeah.
recording, performing with you throughout your whole career.
Like, he kept hearing about it, and he was like, And then after a while, it was like, all right, man. Like, let me hear what everybody keep talking about. And I was super nervous, but I just started going. And he heard me. I had my eyes closed. I was just going. I opened my eyes, and he was looking like, word? Like this nigga can actually rap. Like, all right. So, yeah, but literally ever since then, man, like his next show, I was on stage with him. So,
How valuable is it to have your brother be such an integral part of this journey with you?
Oh, it's the most valuable part. It's the most valuable part. I mean, man, a large part of this hip hop shit is just to keep yourself from going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep yourself from getting involved in things that's gonna make you go crazy. You know, and you just need people around you that genuinely give a fuck about you. That's gonna give you that balance. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, my brother, he came into my life in terms of my music life at the right time. The people I had around me before who I was traveling with, it wasn't the right team. You know what I'm saying? So I never hung with my little brother like that because he was always like my baby. And actually I hated him, like, because he used to do things like punch me in the face and then run to my mom and dad, and then they wouldn't let me hit him back because it was like he was
just festering.
He was like a spoiled brat. Yeah, but once he started getting older and started getting really mature, it was like the perfect person to hang around. Now I hang around him all the time, and then him being on the road with me, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Royce, thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time
you,
today.
man. Pleasure.
Absolutely.
Pleasure.
I've been a fan of yours for over almost half my life, man.
Thank you,
so
man.
It's a pleasure to be
Thank
sitting
you.
here with
Don't
you
make
today.
me sound so old.
No,
man.
I know. Well,
You either making me sound old or yourself young.
I know
one
there's
or
been
the
a few of those moments. I apologize. Respect. You've been
Thank you,
watching
man.
Hip Hop Vancouver. I'm John Zee, and this is
Royce the 5'9". Peace.
We Out.